Hello and welcome to our program Where God Weeps in Depth. My name is Mark Riedemann, and in this program, through a series of short documentaries, we hope to bring you closer to the realities of the Catholic Church in the most remote places around the world, especially in those places where, regrettably, she suffers discrimination and persecution. Today we'll be looking at the Central African Republic. It's a landlocked country in the middle of Africa, rich in diamonds, gold, uranium, and oil. Sadly, however, the country is also marked by violence and political instability, so despite its wealth, it is one of the poorest countries in the world. The country is also in the grip of a brutal civil war. The violence started in 2012 with an uprising by the mainly Muslim coalition called the Seleka. Spurred by poverty and a sense of political neglect, their attacks against the authorities and civilians have been marked by appalling violence. Witnesses testify to the terror and how the crisis developed.
Pourtant, ça la siawe, il mou gamne ke ikpiawe. Ala pina dani na kumba koko kwe.
Ba fazo kirki. Zozo na da kirki.
Une maman était égorgée, brûlée ici. Heureusement.
Premier kunso ala damembi na zembe akeke mizo. Premier mbi wargi kana mbegi tileti miso. Bombi tina molingeni mbilango na sisi donc molingeni angbagi na ndoti atimi fatu. Meni ida gana limbi ke mbilango vivant. Il faut mbi kanga leti mbi tona kwa fatu. Ala ga war mbi vivant so ala kwa god mbi direct. Sara e fo mbi bando so gi guru tu ala ak muyi na atidan. Sara e fo bando na fenêtre so dizaka ala biya dani to. Bongo ci kwadi do guys na ala fala directement la ga gouvernaci du chungu su gisu.
Me lazo le dape asasi sirira mon kimbi. Don a Yesu karmona ya chu kodro asara njunya pe. Janu ndinga so kiti du wona ngati.
Konflikt zaczął się na wschodzie kraju i na północy w roku 2012, gdzie były grupy, które samodzielnie funkcjonowały, ale zjednoczyły się w jedną organizację, to nazywamy Seleka.
Zaczęli wyliczać, że ich region jest pozostawiony, że nie ma szkół, że nie ma dróg. Potem było, my jesteśmy mniejszością, muzułmanów nie ma ani w armii, ani w urzędach.
Oficjalnie ogłaszali, że ich celem jest właśnie przejęcie władzy po to, żeby polepszyć sytuację w kraju.
W niedzielę palmową 2013 roku weszli przemocą do stolicy, do Bangi. Po drodze, po wioskach, zabijając tych, którzy bronili.
Po przejęciu władzy rozmieścili się praktycznie w każdym zakątku kraju byli.
To, co ich łączyło, to na pewno pragnienie, żeby zdobyć władzę, żeby się wzbogacić, żeby zagarnąć terytorium, gdzie są diamenty, gdzie jest złoto. I część z nich nie jest z naszego kraju i większość szefów, którzy nazywa się generałem, to są muzułmanie spoza tego kraju.
Within months, a counter to the Seleka militias was formed, a mainly Christian coalition of civil defense forces called the Anti-Balaka, and these took up arms. Although the warring parties are very generally divided along religious lines, the war is not about religion, but about power and wealth. The result, however, is that the previously peaceful religious harmony in the country has been compromised, and people live in fear. It is here that the Catholic Church is an important presence, especially with its message of peace and in its social work in healthcare, education, and beyond. Father Guy is a parish priest in the capital of Bangui. He shares his experience of an attack by the Seleka militias and how the power of the Eucharist prevailed over fear and terror.
I am Father Guy Charlie Mamundein, a parish priest of St. Michael in Bangui, Central African Republic. It was a very lively, dynamic parish, 900 parishioners. We had 7 prayer groups, kindergarten, primary school, college. Muslims also attended our school. There was no distinction of religion. There was harmony. One day, I left for a meeting and 30 minutes later, next to the church, some Muslims began to kill. They grabbed everything. They killed a lot of people. Our catechist, his wife and children were slaughtered. Murderers knew them from before. Then they returned, this time to burn houses. To burn the school that had formed them, to burn the church, to burn all what have remained there. We lost everything. But we did not lose Christ. The wooden cross was burnt, but the tabernacle was not touched by the fire. Christ has been preserved, and for me, this is the great miracle that took place. It is the center of my life, of my faith. This is our hope. I thank the Lord, and I believe that a day will come when everything will be rebuilt.
As Father Guy puts it so powerfully, we lost everything, but we did not lose Christ. Religious sisters, too, were not spared the violence. Sister Lucy Mumbombi's community lost everything when they were looted by the Seleka fighters, but just as Christ never leaves his flock, the sisters' only wish was to rebuild and to continue their work.
My name is Sister Lucy Mombi, Central African Republic. Now I would like to show you our chapel and our house that was looted. The tabernacle was rifled by the robbers. They threw the consecrated hosts on the ground.
The sisters lived in the middle of a Muslim area with a past that was free of any conflicts between Muslims and Christians.
We were not afraid of Muslims. All had changed when the war broke out.
One day, when the sisters were away from the convent, the Seleka rebels, mostly Muslims, attacked their house.
They were looking for me, to beat me, to kill me, to take me hostage.
The sisters had to flee and look for shelter elsewhere.
We remained 3 months in the living room of a priest, with a tablecloth on the floor. There were 6 of us. We slept in the living room together with people who fled.
The sisters were helping young, illiterate women and girls from disadvantaged families. Women could not only learn to read and write, but also to cook, embroider and sew.
This building was used for basic schooling, for cooking and sewing classes. We have welcomed them here so that they can also regain their dignity that they had lost. These girls are left at the mercy of men to satisfy their pleasure. In our school, there were many Muslims.
This vocational school was furnished and well equipped with sewing machines and fabrics, as well as books and fully fitted kitchens.
Now we cannot help them anymore. We want to take up this training afresh, but we have no means.
The vocational training work of the sisters in the Central African Republic is invaluable as, especially for women, there is a lack of educational opportunities, particularly in rural areas. The training gives witness to the importance of every human person, unique in this arena of violence. The Church's role in schooling is important, not only to allow the young different options in life, but in the case of Central African Republic, it is also serving to keep boys from joining the different rebel groups and falling victim to the violence.
Catholic schools in the 1960s were taken over by the state. Around 15 years ago, the government turned to the Catholic Church to take over the schools again, previously nationalized, because they were not able to provide education for all the children.
L'école était abandonnée. Tous ces jeunes qu'on n'a pas pu s'en occuper et qui sont restés désœuvrés en déperdition scolaire, c'est des jeunes qui sont prêts souvent à partir à l'aventure. Dès qu'il y a une rébellion, ils montent dans le véhicule, ils pensent qu'ils vont devenir militaires. Et ils partent comme ça à l'aventure. Et c'est ça qui était là. Donc, la cause du conflit était déjà là. À travers une mauvaise gouvernance, une pauvreté et un grand analphabétisme dans son pays. C'est un pays jeune, mais il n'y a presque pas d'école. Des villages où il y a 1500 élèves, il n'y a que 3 enseignants. Dans une classe, il y a 150 élèves.
Récitation. Mon drapeau a 5 couleurs. Le bleu, le blanc, le vert, barré de rouge.
C'est des problèmes réels. Et si on ne fait rien, ces enfants analphabètes, c'est les rebelles en puissance. Le Christ, c'est la lumière. Il est venu pour nous éclairer. Tous ceux qui sont dans l'ignorance, dans l'analphabétisme, ils sont dans l'obscurité. Donc nous ne voulons pas que ces gens soient la proie des politiciens qui vont les manipuler à volonté. On ne veut pas qu'ils soient instrumentalisés. nous voulons mettre dans la tête des gens l'esprit de discernement pour faire la part des choses. Beaucoup n'ont pas ça, ils se jettent derrière ceux qui parlent bien et tout, et qui pensent par le verbe les détourner. Or, il est temps pour nous d'envoyer un autre message.
We have a class for young men in our school. We focus in training those who belong to armed groups. Christians as well as Muslims take part in the training. Thanks to our training, which lasted 4 months, these young people were able to feel part of the community, get to know each other, and focus their minds on something. This can give meaning to their lives, because the Troubles had a very negative impact on many young people.
The role of the Church is not only to love and to help the victims of violence without favour to either Seleka or Anti-Balaka, but also to proclaim forgiveness and reconciliation, seeking to bring healing and peace. It is not easy, and only God can give this grace and this strength.
W momencie, kiedy nie ma żandarmów, którzy chronią wioskę, ludzie sami się organizują, tworzą tak zwaną policję miejscową, oni się nazywają Anti-Balaka. Ale później oni czują się zbyt pewnie, to oni sami zaczynają prześladować. W oddziałach Anti-Balaka są również chrześcijanie, nasi parafianie. Policja chrześcijańska, która gwałci, policja chrześcijańska, która prześladuje, która mówi o jakich wartościach? Przemocy? Nienawiści? Jeżeli ktoś prześladuje ciebie, jeżeli ktoś przystawia ci pistolet, on ci mówi o Chrystusie czy o piekle?
Pomimo obecności żołnierzy, cały czas trwały starcia między Anti-Balaka a Seleka. Prezydent, który razem z nimi przejął władzę, bo to był dowódca Seleka, został odsunięty od władzy. No więc wtedy też Seleka zauważyła, że tracą siłę i też żołnierze zaczęli ich rozbrajać. Potem zadecydowali, że wyjadą.
Bo wiedzieli, że nie będą mogli trzymać barier, że nie będą mogli pobierać opłat. Byli wściekli, bo uciekali z tego kraju i zabierali, gwałcili, zabijali po drodze również osoby, które gdzieś tam były, nawinęły się przypadkowo.
Des groupes, les extrémistes sont tout partout, même chez les chrétiens, chez les musulmans, d'autres groupes aussi, mais c'est à chaque groupe de contrôler ces extrémistes pour qu'ils ne puissent pas déborder, pour faire des dégâts au nom de cette religion. Ça c'est important. Nous disons en même temps que nous disons aux chrétiens de respecter les musulmans doivent aussi respecter les chrétiens.
On n'a pas de moutons, on n'a pas de chiens. Hein? Ils prennent le fusil pour venir nous tuer. On a tout, hein? Ils ont tout brûlé la maison ici. Hein? Ils ont tué des gens et tout ça là. Hein? On ne peut pas laisser ça comme ça, on ne peut pas venger. Allez, dites à eux de calmer, nous aussi on calme.
Le pardon afin de récolter l'amour entre les chrétiens et les musulmans.
Je peux pardonner, mais comment on va pardonner tout ça? On a beaucoup pardonné les musulmans. Actuellement, on est tous des colères. Avec toutes les femmes là. Toutes les femmes ont beaucoup de colère. Vous pardonnez tout ça? Les enfants de rester comme ça, il n'y a pas de... Monsieur, vous pardonnez, vous voyez, vous pardonnez. Mais quand même, le gouvernement doit réaliser. Le gouvernement doit réagir. Le gouvernement doit réagir pour avoir vraiment que, voilà, on peut avoir pardon. Pour pardonner les uns les autres, pour se pardonner.
C'est le sentiment humain qui peut se décliner à ce niveau. Les causes profondes de la violence viennent de la haine, du désir de vengeance, du désir de rendre le mal pour le mal. Nous n'avons pas d'autre alternative. C'est le passage obligé, le pardon. Humainement, ça impose, c'est pourquoi il parle. Nous ne devons pas répondre seulement horizontalement, nous devons puiser les forces de manière transcendantale. Ça veut dire que Dieu doit passer en nous et la foi doit nous éclairer pour qu'on nous dépasse seulement le raisonnement ou la passion et dire il est possible de pardonner. Ça, c'est le surhomme, ça, c'est le Christ qui a pu le faire et nous, on peut le faire aussi.
Seleka égale musulman, Balaka égale chrétien, animiste. Je dis c'est faux. Aucun leader religieux n'a demandé aux miliciens de tuer des gens. Ici, il y a les guerres de diamants, il y a la guerre de l'or. Il y a un groupe qui a chassé un autre. Les seigneurs de guerre, c'est eux qui sont à la tête.
As the Cardinal stresses, this war is not about religion. Both groups are extremist and principally concerned about having control over and profiting from the country's mineral riches. We're going to watch another short film which illustrates what Cardinal Dieudonné is saying. How a Christian parish gave shelter to a Muslim community during a fierce attack by the Anti-Balaka, and how Christ's love reigns over darkness and terror.
Let me tell you about an event that took place in this parish in connection with a crisis in our country.
Since 2012, the Central African Republic has suffered a civil war, leaving thousands dead and over 400,000 displaced. Violence occurs between predominantly Muslim Seleka rebels and the anti-Balaka militia, allegedly Christian, although church leaders contest the exclusively Christian character of such groups. On December 2, 2013, anti-Balaka militiamen were suspected of killing 12 people and wounding 30 in an attack on mostly Muslim section of the town of Boali. The response of the local Christian community towards the Muslim victims was more than unexpected.
The local Christian community got up and invited our Muslim brothers to come here. The safest place to protect them was our church. We welcomed them for 3 months. There were 1,000 Muslims. Christians themselves brought food, brought water. Muslims cleaned the church before Mass. This displeased some people who had come from far away because they wanted to attack them. They wanted to kill them. They shot at the building while we were still inside. Here is the door that was damaged. And here, you can see some traces. Here, a bullet trace. But God was with us. No bullets penetrated the wall. We were protected. We were safe inside. This is one of the families who helped us take care of the Muslims who were with us. I was touched by the depth of their faith, by their great openness. If we can talk about the town of Bouali today, it is because there are men who said no. No to the killings. No to hurting others. We must be prepared to make strong gestures that demonstrate the beauty of our faith. Christ died on the cross for Christians and for Muslims. Christian or non-Christian, we must discover the image of God in the other, and we also must protect Him, as God watches over us and protects us.
The only way out of this crisis, as Cardinal Dieudonné explains, is through love and forgiveness. In this environment of entrenched violence and hatred, and interest for power and enormous wealth, it would appear to be impossible. What is humanly impossible, however, is possible with the grace of God. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having been with us today on our program, Where God Weeps in Depth. And if you'd like to know more about the situation of the Catholic Church in Central African Republic, and perhaps how you might be able to help those who are under this reign of terror, I would encourage you to look at the contact information at the end of this program, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.